Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so excited to be back. It's 2026. Happy New Year to everybody. I have been waiting to really get back into it and really see where this YouTube channel could go. So today I wanted to make it a bit short and sweet. I'll try. And I wanted to talk about the three lessons that I had personally learned while trying to organize or actually organizing and hosting the AWJ retreat in Kenya, which is where I am now. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is GB. I run an Afro dance business in Singapore, and the business had basically evolved from studio classes in Singapore to hosting African dancers from the continent. Yes, we actually flew down dancers from the continent to have events in Singapore. And then it eventually evolved to hosting retreats in Kenya. I love the country so much. I had traveled in Africa. There were so many challenges just in terms of people being really concerned about traveling to Africa. And then I made it here and it was like, wait, what was everybody talking about? And I just felt really called to organize and be the bridge, for people to experience Kenya and even other parts of Africa in a safe, authentic, immersive way. And of course, dance would be the heart of it. So that's me. And yeah, so the three lessons that I learned, the first one was really realizing how exhausting hosting a retreat is. And that's not the real lesson, but the lesson was realizing that I can't do it all. And I shouldn't have to do it all, and I don't have to do it all. I think a lot of times, especially when we first start something and we're not really sure what it entails, what it really needs from us on a mental capacity, on an energetic capacity, we end up just thinking we can do it all, and it's not coming from like an arrogant way. It's more of like, I don't even know what I don't know. So now that I do know a bit more, um, I feel like I would have gotten more support on the ground. And it's not saying that I did not get support, don't get me wrong. Of course I had support, and I was constantly talking to people on the ground to help me curate the retreat. They would give me advice and tips on what can be done, what is realistic, what is not, and the logistical part of it. But that was more on the pre-retreat planning. Whereas on the ground, I was kind of doing everything, which I now on hindsight I should not have, because I felt like it was better for me to be able to hold space for the retreaters on a deeper level. You know what I mean? I felt like I was being pulled in different directions, and of course, I tried to keep it together as much as I could. Um, and I mean, the fact that the retreaters went home happy and had a really good time at the retreat. That was uh, great that I didn't fall apart. Real talk here, right? Like, it's really not easy to run a retreat, and I think that's what I learned, that I don't have to do it all alone. And this time round, in the next retreat for March this year, I would probably be getting someone who will help me with the coordination, because there's being the retreat host and holding space for the retreaters, and making sure everything goes well, and um answering questions and making sure everybody is safe and good and well, right? And that in itself takes a lot of energy, right? And coupling that with coordinating with the photographer, the chef, the transport people, um where you're supposed to go, the scheduling, and making decisions as well, which you also need capacity for. Yeah, it can be a lot for just one person. So yeah, I think that, like, the number one lesson for me would be, okay, I need support on the ground, especially for those 10 days. I'm glad that I got support pre-trip. But for those 10 days, yeah, I would get more support. So to everyone out there, whether you're a founder, whether you're going to host a retreat for the first time, or I'm not an expert. I've only done one, and I'm doing two more this year. But I think the general lesson, or the general thing, I would say, or general nudge in a way, I would give would be like, get more support, invest in that, because it's going to give you so much more energy and so much faster recovery time after the retreat as well. Because that's what I realized. Like, I was so exhausted after the retreat, that it literally took me a month to recover, which is also not ideal, right? Because you want to be able to get back and to be able to do the next thing or more for your business and for yourself. So yeah. Lesson number two would be, I just saw what I was capable of, and like I said, it was one of the most exhausting things that I've done, but it was also one of the biggest things I've done. I Yes, I've hosted dance events in Singapore, and that's a different kind of, you face different kinds of challenges with that, right? And running a business in itself is, of course, challenging as well. And this is to not take away anything from any other things that I've been doing or other people are doing. I'm just really talking about the experience in itself of hosting a retreat. Like, it is hard, and then when you do it and when you accomplish it, you realize what you're capable of, and I think that is so, it's just, sometimes you need to take a moment and take that in and put a, like a pat on the back that, hey, you did that, and like, let's take a moment and be grateful for that, grateful for what it took to get here. Because it's not only the 10 days, right? People think it's just 10 days, like, why am I paying so much and everything? No, it's literally like a year in preparation. There's so many things that sometimes can also go wrong, and it's a huge responsibility as well. There's so much that goes into it, and maybe in another video I'll break down what actually goes into creating a retreat and planning a retreat. But yeah, I think once you come out of that and you look back and you're like, damn, I did that. Like, I did that. Like, and it's even more when you really think about how, like, was just a thought in your mind at one point of time, and to see that in reality, to see your vision come to life, I think that sometimes can be lost in all of it, and sometimes you might forget that, hey, you did that. So yeah, I feel like the lesson was seeing what I was capable of, the impact that this retreat could make, and seeing that, yeah, if you can do that, what else could you do? It suddenly just opens up your mind to various possibilities and opportunities, and you no longer doubt yourself the way you did. And of course, you're always going to have doubts, right? When you do something new, when you do something unfamiliar. But it is also about, like, hey, look at what you've done before. Take the lessons, take the strengths, take what you can from that and bring it to the next journey. Because every journey is going to be new, every project, every chapter is going to be new, but there's always things that you can take away from your past. Okay, lesson number three. Honestly, what you do matters. I think that's what I learned. Sometimes it can be so easy to downplay what you do, or to, in a way, talk yourself out of even doing something, because you might ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it going to make the impact that you hope it would make? Because sometimes you might have that in your mind and think this is going to be the most amazing thing ever, and then you don't know if that's gonna actually come through in real life, and that in itself can be a reason not to do it. So I just feel like, to anyone out there who wants to put something out there, that it matters, and sometimes it's really just about trying it out and see what comes out of it. And I felt like it was one of the most fulfilling things that I've done, one of the most exhausting, but it made it worth it. And I would not have known that if I didn't put it out there. And I just feel like, seeing the shifts that had happened within the retreaters, whether big or small, it didn't matter. There was shifts that happened, there was transformation that happened, and perspectives were shifted as well. And in a way, just even seeing how people moved in their bodies, how freer they felt in their bodies, like, all these things might seem really, really small, but you don't realize the impact that it can make on a bigger level in your life as well. And I mean, even for me, it had shifted so many things, and I just felt like, this needs to be done. What I do matters, and it's not coming from a place of ego. It's just coming from a place of, like, you know, let's do this. Let's put it out there and see what comes out of it. And what can come out of it can be really, really impactful. You just gotta try. So yeah, what you do matters. That's my three lessons for that I've learned from the AWJ, from hosting the AWJ retreat. If you want to find out more, You can check out www.afrovgv.com. Follow this channel. Follow me on Instagram at afrovgv. And yeah, I hope to see you in Kenya one day. You never know. Bye.